Being a mage sure does suck. I wish someone would make a game where it was fun to be a mage. Oh yeah! Woo! Boom! Woohoo! Yeah! How did this get boring? Let's start from the beginning. This is Lichdom Battlemage, an indie game that aims to make mages fun and badass. The first thing you'll do after starting up a new game is pick a dragon. But I don't see any dragons here. I see a female and possibly one of the most drab male characters I've ever seen, but no dragons. I'm already confused. You were then given your backstory / motivation in a smoky picture format. The best kind of backstory format. And in case you haven't guessed that this guy's the bad guy, well, he's the bad guy. Got the crazy eyebrows and the fire around him, the mustache. Hell, the mustache alone should have tipped you off. The game itself is damn good looking. Thank you, CryEngine 3! And you also get to be lulled by the sweet, dulcet tones of Clancy Brown. Speak to me, Clancy. Speak to me.
I've traveled a great distance to face my old enemy.
Oh yeah. Oh, and the guy is voiced by Troy Baker. Geez, for an indie game, these guys got some damn good voice talent. Anywho, this guy, whose name is Roth, gives you some magic bracers and tells you to get revenge on the man who murdered your wife. Naturally, you say, okay, and start kicking ass. To do this, you have a few spells at your disposal. Targeted spells, which are just your basic left click, area of effect spells, which are done by pushing down both mouse buttons, spacebar makes you teleport around, but can also be charged up to unleash a Nova attack, and right click blocks. But when done at the right time, can galvanize, which is just a fancy word for blowing shit up. Most of your attacks can be charged up for a guaranteed critical hit, which can, oh my god. That's awesome! Right off the bat, I'm getting way too much enjoyment out of turning guys into ash. Oh, and you can also get ice spells which freeze people. But who the hell cares when you can do this? Boom! The story of the game is pretty much told through these fairly accurate representations of what my mind thinks a rip in space-time looks like. They'll show you the past, where you can learn about another person's story because your story is kill bad dude. Done. It's not very interesting. Oh, and the character you didn't pick ends up being your guide and follows you around. She pretty much just shows up and tells me to do stuff. She's called the Griffin. And I'm the dragon. Top secret codenames are awesome! Oh god, she broke her arm! For a while, the game is actually quite difficult, getting used to the strategies and the tiered health system. By the way, this is your health. It will regenerate unless you completely drain a bubble. Once a bubble is fully drained, it will not regenerate until you find one of these. When you run out of bubbles, you dead. So dodge and block like crazy. After most battles, you will collect loot. And when I say loot, I mean different components for crafting new spells. I'm not going to get too into it here because the crafting system is rather complex, and I could pretty much do a whole video on just that. Lichdom allows you to craft lob spells that explode like grenades, beam spells, traps, new shields, and so on. They all have stats, rarity levels, pros and cons, and that's the biggest part of Lichdom. Trying to get the best crafting materials to create the best spells so you can more easily destroy your enemies. You'll slowly begin to unlock other elements like lightning, kinetic spells, destruction, whatever this is. You know. All of this is so fun and interesting that for a while you'll fail to notice that Lichdom is pretty much a fully linear experience. There is the occasional separate trail or hidden area, but they're just dead ends that end up taking you back to the main path. I read somewhere that this is what the devs were actually going for, because they wanted the player to concentrate on combat and crafting, and it works. For a while. Now, I don't do this a lot, but here's where I'm gonna get a bit picky and critical. Please know that I only do this because I feel, I'm going to emphasize that again, I feel, that means in my opinion, that Lichdom has a lot of potential that it fails to capitalize on. Okay, here we go. Lichdom has one of the best first impressions ever. It comes off as fun and simple, yet complex and addicting. But after 4 or 5 hours with Lichdom, I began seeing a pattern. Walk down a small hallway or pathway that leads to a big open area, fight enemies, search for hidden stuff, watch some story, talk to Griffin, walk down another hallway that leads to another big open area, fight enemies, search for hidden stuff, watch story, talk to Griffin, walk down another hallway that leads to another big open area, fight enemies. You get the idea. The game really started to sink into monotony. I started being able to call when enemies would appear and even what enemy types they would be. Occasionally, there would be a boss or a mini-boss to make things more difficult, but even these are just like every other battle. And once you finally figure out what spells you like best and how to use them effectively, fighting is no longer that hard. As you progress, you'll start to find that things are becoming more difficult, and that just means it's time to upgrade your spells. Boom. Owned. With such a concentration on combat and crafting and with little to no story or exploration, Lichdom feels like they're banking on the fact that to keep the game fresh, you'll want to experiment with all the different spell types and different strategies just for the hell of it. And I don't. Maybe that's just me, I don't know. At 8 hours of playing, I was flat out bored, which is sad because I know there's more to see. The tutorial talks about these spell synergies that I never got to experience, and good lord did I want to see that in action. Maybe I just didn't experiment enough or something, but I never saw one. Or maybe I did. The descriptions are kinda vague. In the end, I stopped playing because I knew it was at the end of the next pathway. Another open area, followed by a fight, followed by a flashback, followed by a chat with Griffin, followed by another pathway that led to another open area. I almost feel as though Lichdom Battlemage is just a super long tech demo for a greater game to come. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Perhaps things change and the game opens up a bit more later down the line. I don't know. But if that's the case, I probably should have seen some semblance of this before hour 8. And say what you will about not giving it enough time. Only 8 hours. It gets better later on. 8 hours is a long f***ing time. I do truly hope that this game succeeds though, because I want to see more. And when I say more, I mean more. My idea to take this series to the next level is to simply open up the world. The devs have created what appears to be a great setting. Let me explore it. A sense of adventure and wonder would help me want to experiment with all these spells you've put into your game. For me, experimentation is just one of the side effects of exploration. Somehow I feel like that's gonna get taken out of context. So there you go. I'd say go ahead and pick this one up, especially if it goes on sale. It has great combat and complex crafting. If you're really into experimenting and maxing out your stats, then this is the game for you. But if you find doing the same thing over and over again a bit boring, maybe wait for a more open-ended sequel. Let's just hope it gets one, because I really enjoy electrocuting and setting people on fire. In-game! Damn it, that's gonna get taken out of context. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. Make sure to visit MMORPG.com for all your MMO-related news. And if you like this video, make sure to visit my YouTube channel for more silly MMO-related videos. There are links in the description below.